What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 1 of a brand new series that we are launching called B2B Lead Generation Tactics. This is episode 1 again, lead gen basics to know. So we are going to do a long series on everything B2B lead generation, and this is just the top layer of it, right? We're going to keep it super high level. We're going to be short, fast, all the things. I am your host, Kevin Jessup, COO of JCI Marketing, and I'm joined today with my co-host, friend, founder, CEO of JCI Marketing, Jason Jimenez Vanover. Say hey.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be quick. It's Friday. Let's give you some things that are actually going to help you improve your presence. So
there we go. So right off the bat, Jason, would love for you to talk about what is lead generation, how does it fit in with demand generation? Just talk about that and the balance between the two.
So the very first thing you want to know is that lead generation is not the same thing as appointment setting. We've all gotten and received the emails from LinkedIn where people promising we will get you appointments, we will get you leads. Those can work, but they are not the same thing. Yeah. Lead generation is about getting people interested in your brand and converting, wanting to talk to you. How do you do that? High touch assets, different resources, getting them to give you that contact information and essentially having them reach out and say, give me a call. That's pure lead generation. Demand generation is about building that interest beyond that one moment of, what exactly, when are they going to reach out to us? It's, are you visible? Are you creating content to tailor it to each of the stages in the buyer's journey, whether they are in awareness, consideration, decision making, and it can be very varied. Play on words there. At the same time, demand generation does get a bad rap because it tends to be associated solely with search engine optimization, but it is so much more than that.
Yeah, you want to talk about that a little bit? I know we've talked in the past that demand generation seems to be a bit misunderstood, maybe not as valued. Maybe there's too much focus on generating leads that you forget about the foundational activities. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So with demand generation and search engine optimization, you're typically thinking about how people are going to find you and when they are going to convert. Demand generation is a long game. SEO is a long game. Yeah. However, effective demand generation creates a sustainable pathway to inbound leads. Regular lead generation, say for example you created a high touch asset like a white paper or say a webinar and you started inviting people to it, that is that initial lead generation, but are those people really ready to buy? Yeah, sure. If they've engaged with that event or downloaded it, they might be, depending on exactly what the topic is and what its purpose is. But demand generation in SEO, you're looking at a minimum of 6 months to really seeing results. That doesn't mean you cannot do lead generation in the meantime, but you're looking at the quality of leads you're going to get. True lead generation, you're looking solely at numbers. How many are going to come in? But if those leads are not of the proper quality, then it can very much be a waste. In fact, there is a lot of information about lead generation versus demand generation, and we covered it all in the new white paper that we just published. We have not even distributed it to social media yet. But if you go to jci-marketing.com, at the very top of the site, there's a big old banner. It'll take you to it. You can kind of read the first few pages. And if you want to get the whole thing, simple form, fill it out, you'll get the entire white paper. It ended up being, what was it, Kevin? 12 pages. And it comes with a checklist, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, there is a whole checklist page that we added there at the end to make sure you're on the right track. It's something about 12 pages. Yeah.
Just for anybody that wants to know, we will drop the link to that white
Mhm.
paper in the comments of this event.
Yeah.
Um, and that's really where you're at. But demand generation is always going to be superior to lead generation. It
Yeah.
is inherently going to be more expensive when you consider the amount of time and resources that you will put into it over the long term, but the ROI is significantly stronger than, say, running an ad campaign and
Yeah.
for a specific purpose, like converting on a webinar or converting on a web page or a download
Yeah.
poll.
And, and
Or,
I was
yeah,
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier today about if you skip these foundational things and you just go right into lead generation, that's fine. But the moment you stop, the moment you just close your pocketbook, the leads dry up. They're gone. They're done.
yeah,
But if
exactly.
you do these foundational things, it compounds over time. And you can, I mean, it's not recommended, but you can close your pocketbook and it's going to keep generating leads because you've done the work, you've put in the effort, and it ends up paying for itself time and time again, way over what you invested. So it is
Most
obviously, yes, it's
definitely.
long game, but man, it's just better to invest in it. But as we have seen in the title of today's little chat, we are going over lead generation tactics. We pre-planned 3 very high level but tactical things that we can do right now. Everyone watching right now, you can do this today. To start working on your
Starting
lead
today.
generation efforts. Yeah, starting today. You can do that to focus on your lead generation efforts. Jason, what is number 1?
Right. So the very first thing you need to do, remember how we talked about SEO? You must make sure that your website is crawlable by Google. If the
Yeah,
website is not crawlable by Google, it serves no purpose whatsoever. Now, effective demand generation, particularly if you do not have substantial traffic right now, say your website's only generating less than 100 visits per month, you're going to need to take some time and improve it. But it can be really complicated at different points because, for example, you can build your website, you can publish your website, everything looks good, but until it's actually indexed by Google, it's like it doesn't exist.
yeah,
And that can exist when, even if you were, say, publishing blogs. We have had clients in the past that have been doing blogs for years, only to realize that a big share of those blogs was never indexed.
yeah,
So, how are you going to check that? Okay, real high level, go to Google, type in site colon, put in your domain, and then put a forward slash at the end. Look at the number of results you get. If that number of results is not similar to the number of pages in total on your website, something is not being indexed.
yeah,
Now, there's a lot of different ways you can get it indexed. You can do it with Google Search Console. You can check it. It can be a nightmare, particularly for some websites that are very complex, but that's where JCI marketing can come in and help. So if you're not sure how to do that, or stuck, or you just want to find out, feel free to just give us a call, check out our website, book a call. We're happy to take a look at that with you as part of our complimentary consultation, and just see what is the things that are going wrong. Is your site being indexed by Google? So
yeah,
that's the number one that everyone here needs to do today. If you're publishing content to your website, I want you to make sure that it is being indexed. If there's something specific, like say it's a new page you created on your proven process, try looking for that specific URL with a slash at the end. If it does not pull up in the search results when you type it in with the site colon at the beginning, then it does not exist in Google's eyes. So that's the foundation
yeah.
of any sort of demand or lead generation. You must be indexed.
Awesome. That was step number 1. Ensure your website is crawlable. What is step number 2?
Right. So, second step is you need to start thinking about something that will engage your audience. Specifically, I want you to think about a common theme in your business and create an idea for a webinar that you're going to publish this quarter on LinkedIn. Everyone in this event is essentially social proof that LinkedIn webinars do draw in leads. That's one of the fastest way you can create leads, and especially leads from your audience. Now, everyone here who registered, you will remember that there was a form attached to this webinar. The majority of that information is pulled directly from your LinkedIn account, and it has to match when you verify your LinkedIn account. The one thing you can change is your email address. At the bottom of that form, anyone who checks that they would like to receive communications from the event organizer, aka JCI Marketing, those are essentially people that I now know want to know more about what JCI Marketing is doing. They are people that are interested, and they're going to be potentially MQLs depending on if they match the ideal customer profile for JCI. So that is the next step. You need to come up with an idea for a webinar. We're going to, go over some things in a little bit that will help you with refining that idea and knowing what to do. But ultimately, by the end of September, everyone that is here and interested in lead generation needs to get with their companies and come up with an idea for a webinar. You need to start this now because you only have 8 weeks left. And typically you're looking at 6 to 7 weeks to produce it and get it all in order.
Yep. Awesome. Do you want to talk about maybe a tip and trick or something on how to come up with, I know people come up with ideas and
Okay.
some people have a hard time coming up with ideas. You want to talk about that? Or
So the simplest way to do it is also my favorite. What industry or vertical do you serve? That's the very first question you need to ask yourself. So if you serve manufacturers, you're probably going to know more about that industry than anyone else. Say if you serve educational facilities, say you're a facilities manager, you're going to know more about what's going on with the state of education inherently compared to someone else. JCI marketing, we tend to follow logistics and supply chain news topics very closely. You need to think about possibly creating a state of webinar for Q3 or Q4. You could also do trends of what you're doing right now, trends in these target industries. If you're not sure of how you can come up with, go to your website, copy all the information from your homepage or your services page, go to ChatGPT, even the free one, put that information in along with the prompt. This is what my business does. This is what our business specializes in. We need to come up with a webinar for LinkedIn or for Q3, whatever, and say, give me ideas. A lot of people don't take advantage of AI's ability to be a sounding board.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's another part to that. Many people worry, well, my data is going to be used to train. My data is going to be taken from me. I don't want anybody to know. Here's the truth. If it's on your website, you want people to know. Marketing, you want people to know. Maybe don't paste your client list in there, but
we're talking about your
your
homepage here. Like,
yes, your website, anything that you want people to know about, use the AI. It's going to give you some ideas that are completely outlandish, and then at other times it's going to, give you ideas that are going to spark your imagination, and you're going to sit there and realize, hey, I could take this idea and turn it into something that will be valuable for my ideal customer profile.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Pareto principle. It's the 80-20 rule.
Yes.
80% of it's going to be crap, but the other 20% might actually be pretty good. And you're going to get there in about 2 minutes instead of wasting an afternoon trying to come up with ideas.
You have to get dirty in order to mine for gold.
Oh, hey, that's good. I like that. So the task is to start thinking about a common theme, an idea for a webinar to use this quarter. That was number 2. Number 3, Jason, go ahead.
Okay, so number 3 is about distributing your content. You need to create a LinkedIn newsletter. Creating a LinkedIn newsletter can feel overwhelming because, hey, what are you going to put in it? But your LinkedIn newsletter comes with some functions on LinkedIn that are very powerful and allow you to reach a broader audience. When you create a newsletter as a business or even as yourself, everyone that follows your business or everyone that follows you will automatically get an invitation to subscribe to that newsletter. Now, the importance of the newsletter is that when you publish those editions, they reside on LinkedIn, but they are also emailed out to your newsletter subscribers. That means that the material in your newsletter is being delivered to your followers' email inboxes from LinkedIn. It is important to realize that that does not mean you're going to have emails from your inbox to them. It does not mean that you're going to have their contact information yet. What it does mean is that you're able to reach these people in another medium and they're going to be able to see what you're talking about. What are you going to put in the newsletter? If you're publishing blogs, put a short, synopsis of your blog with a link to it. If you're doing anything involved in the community, put that in there. If you are running a freight brokerage, put your favorite stories or maybe something that you saw happen in the last week. For example, we saw this week that Delta has officially announced they are going to sue CrowdStrike due to the Microsoft outage.
Wasn't it like 500 million that they lost? Did I read that?
Yes. So
that's crazy.
There's a lot that you can do with that. JCI Marketing does a monthly newsletter. Sometimes it's biweekly. Honestly, it just depends on what's going on that month. But we do a LinkedIn newsletter and it goes out on LinkedIn, but we also send it to our marketing contacts that have opted in. So the reason for that is, for example, this event, before it goes live on the second LinkedIn live event in this series, it will have a link to check out the upcoming event in our newsletter. And if someone sees it and clicks on it, registers, I now know that not only have they registered for the event, but they were actually reading our newsletter. There are some additional tips and tricks you can apply to track the viewability of your newsletter. For example, you can create additional UTM codes in Google Developer Tools for specific links. So you could know by adding that specific tracking code to links in a LinkedIn newsletter if people are actively clicking on things that go out in your newsletter. Obviously, LinkedIn does track that data already for you. But say, for example, like us, I want to know how many people clicked on the LinkedIn Live event. I want to know how many people clicked to book a call and maybe didn't finish it because it informs.
Or to download our white paper.
Yes, exactly. And I actually haven't even put that in it yet this week. So, if you're not sure what a LinkedIn newsletter looks like, I invite you all, click on JCI Marketing, go to our page on the left side of the screen. Once you get in there, you can see articles that we've written or newsletters that have been published. The newsletter that is published on LinkedIn is called The Freight Marketer's Compass. And that is an example also of using AI to help with ideas because I knew I wanted something about the freight market and something about direction. And with a 20-minute conversation with ChatGPT, it helped me come up with the idea for, I think it was originally like navigating the freight market, and that made me think of a compass, and
Yeah.
it was short enough. So yeah, you need to create your LinkedIn newsletter. Does that mean you're going to publish it this week? No. But just like you're coming up with ideas for your webinar, I want you to start working on a potential title for your LinkedIn newsletter. Just one for right now. So we've gone through these top 3 tips. So what do you do from here? Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Pick one.
Okay.
Probably start with number 1. Do
Yeah.
that.
So
and if you're overwhelmed with that, like, reach out to someone who can help you. We can help you with it, but reach out to somebody who can help you, because we can't stress enough how important this is.
So one of the things that makes JCI marketing unique is we take an open-handed approach to everything. And this LinkedIn Live series is going to be just that. Every 2 weeks from today, we're going to do a LinkedIn Live with the video and everything that you see right here. But on the Fridays and in between that, so for example, next Friday on August the 8th, on August the 22nd, we are going to go live with a LinkedIn Live audio event. And if you've been to any LinkedIn Live audio events, there are a few things to know. 1, it's not recorded, so you can't replay it later on. 2, the organizers can bring you up to the stage to have a conversation. And 3, it's an opportunity to get to know people without any pressure. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold this LinkedIn Live audio event. And if you want to ask a couple of questions or maybe share what has or hasn't worked in the past for you, we'll bring you up to the stage. And it's an opportunity to kind of think of it like, say, office hours, or just a quick, short marketing consultation. For example, if someone in this audience is like, hey, Jason, Kevin, what do you think if we did a state of ground maintenance for 2024? Okay, well, where are you located? We'll ask, where are you located? What's your ideas? Are you targeting areas that were affected by tropical storms or maybe Hurricane Beryl? If you're in a drought prone area, what are you going to talk about? There's a lot of different ways that we can take that. And by virtue of us being in a B2B space for such an extended period, we're able to kind of add that creative spark, similar to AI, but maybe with a bit more flair and less likelihood of sounding like a robot.
Yeah. Well, that is all the time we have for today. Don't forget, set your calendar for next Friday at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Look at it as you get to sit in our conference room and ask us questions, and we can just have a fun, open, casual conversation about whatever issues are coming up in this space. So we'd love to talk to you. Also, download our white paper if you haven't already. I think the little ticker's been going for a lot.
Yeah. We will drop the link to the page where it is located in the comments with this. I will also drop the link to the LinkedIn Live audio event in here, but just as a fast reminder, you must come at that time. We will try to go live right about 2 or 3 minutes early. Next Friday on I think I said August the 8th and 22nd. It's actually going to be August the 9th and the 23rd. As a LinkedIn Live event, we recorded this on Thursday, August the 1st, to make sure we have an opportunity to cover everything and also think about our strategic plans. So that's really where we rest. And I just want to say thank you for joining us today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Our contact information will be in the comments as well.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Take care.